So this one was constructed in the 1880s. It was constructed when Ravinia was actually still a separate town from Highland Park. And so it was prior to Highland Park incorporating all of those little neighborhoods. So it was built in the 1880s in this, what was probably the village of Ravinia at that point. So we found evidence from when it was originally built that the whole house was outfitted with gas lamps. So it was built prior to electricity, built out with gas lamps, and then so certainly it was rewired at least twice. Beyond that, the major rebuilds, they actually weren't that significant. What's really interesting about this house is how much of it was just the original bones from the 1880s. So it's a Queen Anne Victorian, and it was noted for being kind of a significant example of a Queen Anne Victorian in the Ravinia neighborhood. So what's really neat about wood is, we often talk about wood as a rapidly renewable product. Rapidly renewable usually refers to any material that can be grown to maturity and harvest within 7 years. What's unique about this house is that when it came down in the 1880s, that was really around the peak of exporting of wood throughout the upper Midwest. And so this wood likely came from the great Northwoods, either of Minnesota or possibly Wisconsin. And what's really neat about it is that it means that it was first growth wood. So this was the first time that these trees had been cut down and intentionally harvested. So they'd had an incredibly long, very slow growing period. For the most part, it was wood that came through Chicago. It didn't all end up in Chicago. Most of it actually went out west. We also have to remember that at that point, there was a very different growing cycle. There was nowhere near the level of CO2 of carbon dioxide that we have in the air now. And carbon dioxide makes plants grow faster. So when you're looking at these trees that are really pre-industrial revolution, they grew much more slowly. At a certain point, we have this one very small planet. A lot of times we talk about energy and conserving energy, but new energy arrives every single day. We will never get new materials, so we have a responsibility to manage those materials that we do have. If the material is there, the obligation is to use it well.